compliance is super important, and also consumer experience on a lot of these websites is important. The rules that are out there now try to prevent people from filling out a form to save money in car insurance and getting 100 calls that day. That's the biggest problem. We identified right now 1 in 4 leads that are being filled out by somebody else on behalf of somebody else without their knowledge. So in other words, let's say, James, somebody comes along and puts your information into save money on car insurance. Next thing you know, out of the blue, you're getting tons of calls. Every one of those calls is a violation of TCPA. So our job is to focus on the visitor first, make sure it's the right person that's about to fill out a form. It's not a bot. It's not malware that's interfering with it. Or more importantly, it's not human fraud firms from around the globe that are doing that on purpose to game the system.
We help clients be able to more efficiently save resources and time. So essentially, our platform takes a lot of the routine daily and compliance and fraud prevention tasks off our clients' plates so that they can focus on scaling their program with existing partners that are proving to drive the right type of traffic, and then also feeling more comfortable with unlocking underutilized and inexpensive sources because they now have systems in place to be able to tap into that types of resources to help them scale.
For most of our clients, the big thing is obviously just consumer acquisition at scale in general. The thing that we provide most of all is security and a level of trust in the customers that we're acquiring. And part of that is through the tech solutions like Anura that we utilize to make sure that we're not sending any sort of fraudulent traffic to our partners. But the other hand, it's also about the way that we do our marketing and the perception of how we do our marketing to our clients. I think when you're in a regulated industry like we are, it's important that you develop a good relationship of trust and you have really open communication with the partners that you're working with. Marketers have a tendency to push the boundaries a little bit, and it can cause problems potentially. So I think that making partners feel that you're not going to mislead the consumer or deliver a consumer experience that's negative, as Rich was saying, like you don't expect the 20 calls on that auto insurance form you're filling out. A happy consumer is not going to complain. It's not going to generate a compliance problem down the line. And staying ahead of shifting regulations, if you're doing right by the consumers, I feel like 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have any problems with regulations changing down the road.